Hey everyone, it's Failed Shot back at it with an Awaken Chaos Era video, and thank you to Shen for suggesting that I create a Void Tower guide. And so in this one, we're going to be going over kind of how I decide what teams I'm going to use, what are my general strategies, what are the spells I use, and just overall how Void Tower goes about working. And so for those of you that have not experienced a mode like this is similar to Tower of Ascension in Summoner's War or Doom Tower in Raid, where each floor has two stages, or two waves rather, and I'll go ahead and show you that here. And then every multiple of 5 stage, so 5, 10, 15, 20, is going to be a boss stage. And typically the multiples of 10 are harder than the multiples of 5. But in those boss stages, you're going to have 3 waves rather than 2. So the general strategy is to essentially save your abilities, save your spells from this first wave, and use them on the second wave or the third wave, depending on what stage you're on. And it's a little different from a lot of other games if you have played those, because in this game it's really quite difficult to get your hand on a lot of CC. There are stuns, there are, freezes of course, but there's no like real AoE stun in the game. Skill based, there are some sets that do that, but there's no real ability to get a lot of CC. Also, the Void Tower has additional debuffs, constant debuffs, or rather buffs to the enemies that apply depending on what difficulty you're on. So for example, on normal, we have enemies have a 50% chance of inflicting crit resistance down, but on hard, assuming it's the same, which we will find out in just a little bit, you cannot stun enemies, which makes certain CCs completely useless, like stun. So certain characters are significantly reduced, but then certain CCs like frozen, which Tia does quite a bit, are extremely valuable. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the team I'm going to be using to auto through the Void Tower, because if you just click this, the multi-battle, it will basically just go through the whole floors as long as I don't fail. And we can just kind of let it run through, because I believe I should be able to get through this whole thing. I will pop back to the video after, we fail, or if we get through the whole thing, because I'm going to be showing you the hard stages 10, 20, 30, and 40. But we're just going to go ahead and put in Zatlux, Tia, Nathalia, Connor, and we're just going to be putting in some spells here. Not the rage order, because Connor's going to be going first, so we're just going to put it in the healing spell. And we're just going to let that run, and I will come back to see if we failed a stage on normal or if we are on hard. Alright, so here we are, and as you can see, we have cleared all the way through 100. I had no problems. I just want to go ahead and show you the rewards for beating Void Tower normal. This is a game mode you do not want to skip on, especially since it resets every month or so. So because of that, you're going to be getting these every month. There's really no reason not to do it. The total amount of energy that you're going to spend if you don't fail is only about 200 energy, because it's 2 per floor. So it's extremely useful. As you can see, you're getting so many diamonds, so many pumpkins, so many extra summons, and including an ancient summoning crystal, which is really, really nice. But I'm going to go ahead and show you hard. Another thing to note is the rewards for hard are even better. As you can see, you get this legendary potion down the bottom, so it's really important. On top of that, you actually get a legendary crystal, a sacred crystal, I believe it's called, that will give you a random legendary if you beat Mythic. And that's floor 20. It's only 20 floors, similar to Summoner's War, but no one's quite beat it yet, as you can see. Some people are on floor 13. That's actually really impressive. So it's a game mode actually worth building for after you get through your dungeons. And as you can see down here, we went over previously, enemies are immune to stun and sleep. I'm just going to go ahead and show you kind of like my general strategy going through a lot of these waves. I'm going to go ahead and bring this team in. I believe it's the same team I used previously. And we're just going to bring in the defense down. I'm also going to bring in the Rage and Agile Leap. I think a lot of people underrate the Agile Leap spell. Basically what it does is it passes your turn over to another character. However, it uses up their turn if they were after. So what I mean by that is, we're on auto here. Actually, we might be able to beat it on auto. But you can see there, Connor had Agile Leap and used it on Nathalia. And so Nathalia went, but she doesn't get to go a second time. So the trick is putting for example, let's say Zatlux is first in the turn order, and then Tia is after Zatlux. Then having Tia boost it to Zatlux to give Zatlux a second turn is really, really useful. So that's pretty much why I use it. Or if Zatlux is too slow for the enemies, for example here, you can see he's going after a lot of people. It's really nice to boost him forward without too much trouble, because Zatlux will just reset his cooldowns and we'll go on to the next wave. So pretty much these first couple waves are similar to the normal. They're not super difficult. It's really when you start hitting past about stage, about 20 or so, in my experience, that the waves start getting a little more difficult. And each one is generally vastly different. So there's no real like one strategy wins all. What you really got to figure out is, okay, do I need more CC here? Am I lacking damage? Like, for example, if there's a CC or a Rickard or someone like that where you actually need a bunch of damage, you'll have to bring in more damage to burst through their kits. Whereas if there's someone like a bunch of burst damage dealers, perhaps a really tanky squad with poisons will do the job, even though poisons take a little while. So just kind of thinking out through their kits and kind of judging based on that. As you can see in this one, there's 4 separate characters for this. Also, matching affinities is a really nice thing to do. Now, you can always enter this, leave, just to see what the first stage is, and you only lose 1 energy. But I'm going to go ahead and keep going through these stages. As I said, these ones aren't super difficult. And I will bring you to floor 10, where we will do our first boss fight, and I will do that manual so I could show you exactly how I go about doing it. All right, so here we are. We managed to get to hard 10. We pretty much autoed our way through. I guess the floors between 1 and 9 are not super difficult. 5, of course, took a little bit longer, but not too difficult. I'm just going to go ahead and show you what characters I have to choose from here and how I go about kind of deciding. So I do have a Hakrin, I do have Radira, I do have a poison team between Mythasia, Santis, and Hakrin. I do have a couple of Tulpa damage dealers like Aurak, Cyrus, and then I have like Evelyn first on, who I slot in sometimes. Cyrus has been an absolute carry for me, and so I have used her quite a bit. And in this one, we have a pure mix of affinities, so there's not really anyone that super stands out. And of course, we do not know the first and second stage, so a lot of the times I just kind of go in and run a team. I'm going to go ahead and run Agile Leap, and I'm going to go ahead and run the defense down. Agile Leap's especially good if you are manualing. And then I'm going to drop probably Nathalia. I'm going to go ahead and put in Cyrus, because I do actually really enjoy Cyrus in my teams, especially on manual. So let's go ahead and see what the first stage is here. Hopefully it's not on auto. I think I turned it off, but we'll see. Okay, perfect. So we have triple water and a fire. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the shield from Connor. It's important to note, if you could see here how it says 2 turns, basically Connor needs to go twice again for that cooldown to be refreshed. If it says 1 turn and you finish the stage, it actually reduces all your cooldowns by 1. So that's actually a really important something to note as you're going through here. Here I'm just going to go ahead and basic. No curse proc, that is fine. We're just going to take a first couple of hits, which is fine. We're going to go after Connor. You really want to save your cooldowns and just take it slow. You're free to try this as many times as you want, really. But especially for the first 40 floors or so, Zatlux is a absolute king and will one-shot the waves. If you have a really well-geared Zatlux, he will carry you through Void Tower quite a bit. And here, I'm just going to go ahead and boost Zatlux forward, and this is why I take Agile Leap, and he can just clear out this wave for us, and we can get to the boss fight really easily. So 10 isn't super difficult, but I did want to show you kind of my thought process on each of these floors, because they do have varying elements and such. So here we are, and Melissa's going to go first. She's super fast with that passive. So here we are. Here I want to go for Imogen, actually, because she does a decent amount of damage. I'm going to basic because I want the defense pierce up before I actually use my other abilities. And then with Tia, I can just defense down and get a couple of freezes, hopefully. Hopefully a lot of you actually have Tia because of the new battle pass. And she is an excellent character. Look at that, triple freeze. This battle's pretty much over now. Zatlux actually probably able to clear out at least 2 of them here between Imogen and Keen. Yep. All right, he's just going to wipe the floor. And this is why Zatlux is just so amazing. So pretty easy. Let's go ahead and swap over to floor 20. All right, so here we are at floor 20, and we were able to auto through pretty much the entire floors. I think I had to take it off manual real quick for the 15th floor. We had no cooldowns for the boss fight, and it took me about 20 minutes. So here we are, 3 wood characters for the boss and Darkin Niklaus. Let's go ahead and figure out what we were going to bring in for this one. So we don't really have any fire characters built out, like Asrina or Zachary. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take out Nathalia and put in Cyrus, and then go ahead and take Agile Leap here. and then stick with this team. I believe we're on auto, so we might have to enter the battle and then exit the battle. That way our spells are up, but we will see. So, okay, we're on auto. So Connor's going to go ahead and use that. We'll just play this out. We'll see if we can actually still win. These water mages are actually really annoying because a lot of them have ways to get bonus turns, so they will just completely destroy you. Just go ahead and finish that one off so we don't take too much damage. They should hit Tia here, and she is one of my tankier characters, so okay, we're taking a ton of damage here. As you can see, we kind of figure out what the waves are, so we can adjust our strategy for the next time. Let's go ahead and see what the second wave is. First wave is 3 wood mages, 1 water. And this one is 3 of the fire lizards, and then 2 of the water ones. So we're going to go ahead and boost Salix forward. Now, there's no guarantee he's going to crit on the fire characters, so let's hope that he does. Very nice. Zalix does have an advantage because he has such high precision. So, okay, so here we are. And we have Kayn, Urzag, and Yolanda. Now, it is also important to remember that they don't actually start with their ultimates off cooldown. So you kind of have like 1 turn of grace. I would very much like to get Yolanda out of there. So I think we're going to go ahead and start with that with a basic. Just get the defense pierce up. Hope for curse procs. Very nice. That's really solid damage on Yolanda. See, we don't have defense down here, and that would be really helpful here. But well, let's see if we can still win this. 2 freezes. That's pretty average. Decent start. There's Zatlux. We're just going to go on a basic Yolanda. She should put the immunity on herself. Oh, okay. She actually put it on Darken Niklaus here. We're just going to go ahead and heal Tia up. Tia is going to be the focus for them. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ult. I don't feel like I need the extra ability immunity because Cyrus is the right affinity. I'm going to go ahead and actually hit Urzag here. And the reason for this is Zalix is going to go and he's just going to clear out Kayn and Yolanda here, and then move on to Urzag, and then we're just gonna have to deal with Darken Niklaus here. So, pretty solid. He's gonna get a ton of bonuses under 50% HP, as well as Urzag, to be honest, but Urzag's probably just gonna kill Tia here. Yeah, 33k, it's actually really impressive, but see if we can get the defense down. No defense down, that's fine. Just put up the ability immunity, and this is why I love Cyrus. Like, if it was just Cyrus versus Niklaus for the rest of the battle, we actually have a decent chance of winning because of that ability immunity. So, okay, actually, probably a decent idea to just basic there, so Niklaus doesn't actually get that shield. Alright, put up the shield there. We're gonna go into basic with Cyrus. Hopefully we get a bonus attack. Alright, and actually what I'm going to do here is because Cyrus has still 1 turn cooldown for her abilities, I'm going to boost it over to Cyrus, because Cyrus is actually going to do more damage than Zatlux, and it'll refresh her cooldowns. We actually did not crit there, which was pretty rare, so it actually did not do more damage, but... Okay, I shouldn't die from Niklaus' ult, so I'm going to go ahead and ult myself here. We got a curse proc, and he is quite low. We still have to go through his passive, just remember that. We have 1 turn until his ult comes off cooldown. I'm going to go ahead and use my second ability now. And so now we have that passive proc. Okay, hopefully Cyrus gets a cursed proc here. If we get a cursed proc, we will kill. So I'm just going to go ahead and basic there. And then hope for a cursed proc here. So we did not get it. So now our hope is to actually live through this Niklaus ultimate. I do think that at least Zalux should survive. Maybe Cyrus as well. We might actually have to restart this. Okay, Cyrus went ahead and survived that, so we should be fine here. Just to be safe. Okay, we have enough damage from Zalux, I'm pretty sure. But just to go and show you how versatile this Agile Leap spell, I'm going to go ahead and burst Cyrus forward and then use my second skill. Just in case we didn't have enough damage, just barely. I wanted to get that ability immunity, so we for sure would have won that fight. So just to kind of go over my thought process in some of these battles, but let's go ahead and move on to floor 30 here. So we actually got stuck on floor 24. At least we couldn't do it on auto. So I'm going to go ahead and swap my spells here. We're going to go ahead and take the Agile Leap spell. Again, Agile Leap is just such a good spell, especially for when you have slower characters like this. We do have a Hugh in here, so I think I'm going to take out Nathalia and put in Cyrus. And let's go ahead and see how this works. Hopefully I'm not on manual or on auto. I think I turned it off just before we lost. So, all right, here we are. We have 3 fire, 1 water. I'm just gonna go ahead and buff up. I'm not gonna use the Agile Leap spell here. I'd like to save it, so hopefully we can get a curse proc here. And don't be ashamed of like leaving the battle. Like, let's say I didn't get a curse proc there for Cyrus. Just leave the battle and try it again. You know, it's only 1 energy, so... And so the reason why I didn't actually use my ultimate on Zatlux, even though it would reset, is because I need Connor to get an extra turn, so that cooldown can actually go down to, you know, basically 1 more turn, and it will reduce to ready for the boss fight. Because we will need that, those buffs for the boss fight, almost certainly. So here we are. Go ahead and use that buff. As you can see, our cooldowns are reduced by that 1 turn. And here, I'm just going to go ahead and hit Hugh. It's important to note that Hugh will not counterattack unless his speed is higher than yours. So all these characters that are hitting right now, they're not going to get counterattacked by Hugh. No freezes. Wow, that is extremely unlucky there. It's okay. We still have a decent chance here. The real important thing is Borden is most likely going to hit Zatlux here, get his passive procced. There it is. He's going to ult Zatlux. So Zatlux is dead. Unfortunate. We could have Agile Leaped there, and then Urzak is getting a bonus turn, so this is getting a little crazy. That no freeze from Tia really hurt us there. Borden's going to get another turn. If he kills Cyrus, we are actually in a lot of trouble here. Yeah, so we have to restart this. And again, don't be, you know, ashamed of restarting this. Like, that was just extremely unlucky. We had no freezes from Tia, so that was really rough. So we're going to go ahead and right back into it. I'm not going to edit that out because I think it's important for a lot of people to understand that, you know, Void Tower is a lot of making sure that you are kind of rolling the battles. So making sure that perhaps they crit. Like if Urion's on the enemy team and Urion crits your whole team's going to die. And you pretty much can't avoid that. So just keeping an eye out for that type of stuff. And then just refreshing the battle. Okay, so... Same thing here. I'm just going to basic this back one. We did get crit on the Zatlux there, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this one because I don't think Cyrus can actually kill without a proc. Well, she got a proc anyways. And now we're going to be on the boss fight. So again here, we're not going to get counterattacked by Hugh. And we're just going to go ahead and actually use our second ability here. Because Borden actually went for Cyrus there, I was hoping not to, so we can get that that defense penetration before we actually used our abilities. But I think we're going to need it. There we go, 3 freezes. That was on the luckier side. And you can just see, like, this is going to be pretty easy comparatively. We should be able to kill a Hugh here, and then just move on to Nathalia. Or Borden. Yeah, so this is a way different battle. You know, when we autoed, it might be that Tia wouldn't have a roll up because we would have Zatlux would use abilities, but I mean, you could just see the difference between one battle to the next. If you have a character that needs to land their debuffs or whatever, be sure to just refresh the battle if they don't. And we're going to keep moving on, and I will bring you back to floor 30 or when we have trouble. So here we are, floor 30, and we have 2 water characters, a fire and a wood. And so what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and bring in Nathalia. I already swapped it out, but I realized I wasn't recording, so I pulled out, I backed out, and then I went ahead and put in the new team. So we have Agile Leap. We didn't quite use Agile Leap to super great effect previously, but we are going to here, because I believe on the second wave we're going to go ahead and boost Zatlux forward. I guess we did that on the previous one, so... All right, so it's actually really important to note, I mean, at least with Tia here, typically this bottom one is actually the one in the last turn order, as you saw there. So we are actually able to, if you saw there, we actually were able to decrease his speed, drop him behind Zatlux, and now we take 1 less hit from the monsters there. And as you can see, Connor barely lost his shield. If that other one would have gone, we would have taken actually a decent chunk of damage on Connor. So just a little extra tip there. Also, I believe my lighting is a little off, so I apologize if it is a little off for you all, but trying to get that fixed. So this should just kill everyone off, and that is what's so good about the Agile Leap spell. So we were able to save our cooldowns for this spell, or the rest of this round. We were able to refresh Connor's cooldowns, and now we have all of them up for this round. And then we're going to go ahead and put the buffs up, and hope that Tia at least freezes 2. We got the resistance on Zatlux. It's not too surprising, but a little unfortunate. 3 freezes, that's a little above average. And for this one, do not underestimate Rourke and Mudos' damage. They actually do quite a bit, but we will be probably going for Zatlux here. Let's just check the health. If I hit Mudos here, I might be able to kill if I get a crit. But what I'm going to do is actually just hit Rourke in the back here, because we are going to go before them in the second round here. And so all I'm going to do is just try to hit these ones in the back with Nathalia. Boom. Okay, we killed one there. Let's go ahead and try to get a defense down on Zatlux. Okay, we got resisted. That's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and try to decrease Molhex's speed here. So we have 20k on Molhex and 8k on Mudos. So Zatlux should go from Zatlux to Mudos and then Molhex. Perfect. And this round is pretty much over. So level 30 was really easy. Let's go ahead and go to level 40. And actually, I might show you level 36 because I believe that's what's a really quite difficult one. It's a, if it's the same as last reset, it was a Celestial King, Evelyn First Dawn, Urian, and Andre stage, which is actually quite difficult. So if we end up getting stuck on that one, I will go ahead and show you that one as well. So here we are, and finally made it to Void Tower Hard, floor 40. This one took a little while. I only had to pull it off auto for 36, but we beat it on the first try, so it wasn't super difficult for us. All you really need to do is have a lot of burst damage. This stage is exceptionally difficult. I had quite a few people bottlenecked on this stage, and they just ended up progressing after floor 40. So what do we have here? We have Brand, Mythasia, Joseph, and Nathalia. So we really don't have a ton of damage, except for Nathalia. Nathalia is insane. She will one-shot you, and possibly your whole team. And then we have Triple Cleanse, plus Revive, plus Attack Up, plus Constant Shields, and bonus turns from Joseph. So it is going to be quite difficult. And the way I beat this last time was I actually brought in Cyrus. Where is Cyrus? There she is. And then I also brought in Nathalia, and I had Tia in here as well. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Agile Leap spell as well. And actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and bring in... Yeah, we're going to bring in the Agile Leap spell. So let's go ahead and see what... or how this goes. This might be exceptionally difficult for us to beat on the first try. And we're just going to kind of do what we did last time. And not use the Agile Leap spell quite yet. No crit from Cyrus. We're starting off strong. And no curse proc. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and use Tia's ultimate here. Alright. Should be back up by the time we get to this stage. Alright, they both hit Nathalia there, and we got a crit, so that was a little unfortunate. So we're really not starting off strong here. But we're going to clear this first wave. Not too many problems. A deflect, into a curse proc, into another deflect. Wow, this is like really bad. It's okay. Actually worked out fine because we did want to get another cooldown off on Tia. And then we have this stage. So I'm going to go ahead and actually use Cyrus' second ability here, because it will most likely be off cooldown by the time we get to the boss stage, and we will still have the ability immunity actually up for it. So it's actually quite nice. So there's everyone. Let's actually hope we don't kill here. All right, we actually did end up killing. Come on. All right. Well, we're not going to get the cooldown off on Cyrus, but everything else should be up. This is where it gets really, really difficult. So here's the tricky part. You don't really want to apply debuffs to Nathalia. Why? Because if you apply debuffs to Nathalia, Joseph's will go ahead and give her a bonus turn and cleanse that debuff, which makes it really, really rough. So what we're going to do here is actually just basic Mythasia. So the trick to this is these characters will actually use their ultimates pretty much off cooldown, and Joseph will use his second skill like completely randomly. So right here, what we're going to hope for is to freeze Joseph. We don't necessarily really care about killing Nathalia. Okay, we froze Nathalia there. So, and then passes the turn over to Nathalia, which actually ends up being fine because even though she cleansed, she's not getting the buffs up, and she's not going to hit our whole team, which ends up being quite fine. I am just going to go ahead and basic here. I'm going to target Nathasia. Okay, not super huge damage. Just going to basic Nathasia again. We really want to focus down Nathasia. Okay, here I'm going to use my ultimate. See if I can do some big damage to Nathasia. Curse proc, hopefully. We did get a curse proc. Okay, this is looking quite nice, quite nice. I'm actually going to swap it back over to Nathasia, or Cyrus here, just to finish off Nathasia. Boom. This is awesome. We are doing quite nicely in this fight. We really want to take out Nathasia if you possibly can. It really makes this battle much easier. If you have to, focusing Brand to remove that shield and prevent these buffs, but it looks like we have enough damage. We're probably going to kill Brand. We did. Now this battle's probably over. We really just have to deal with Nathalia, but we're going to target Joseph. Why? Because he's going to constantly give Nathalia bonus turns. As you can see here, his second skill is already up. So let's hope we actually slow down Joseph enough for Nathalia to go in front of him. We did. Now let's hope we have enough damage to finish off Joseph here. Come on. Come on. Just barely. We did it. All right, this should be a wrap. I don't think we can lose at this point. Cyrus has already 2 stacks of ability immunity, and the ability immunity is going to be coming off cooldown soon, so I don't see how we can lose here. I say that, but it is looking a little dicey. Come on, hopefully we get a decent hit here from Nathalia. Awesome. I'm not going to use the defense down. Wow, no crit there. We're just going to basic. So she's probably going to kill everyone here. We have the ability immunity. So here's a trick, actually. I'm just going to use my second ability. We crit. She's going to have her ult up, but we're going to be ability immunity here. So if she crits me right here, we might actually end up dying. But here's a trick. If we have the debuff on us or whatever, or we need our cooldowns reset and we have Agile, we can use it on our own character to reduce those cooldowns and kind of remove those debuffs. So, ooh, and we barely survive, and we have the ability immunity. This should be the end, and quite barely survive, but you can just see how strong of a character Cyrus is. I mean, I did an in-depth guide on her. And I knew I was going to come out with some more Void Tower footage, which is why I didn't put it in that video. But it is, like, absolutely just amazing. She literally solo carries all my Void Tower runs pretty much at this point, even against water characters. And I'm going to go ahead and stop there. If you want to see me push 50, 60, perhaps all the way up to Void Tower Hard 100, be sure to check out on a stream. It's in the link down in the description down below. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you for the next one.